All right. Welcome in, everybody, to Tuesday's edition of Daily Bread. Coming at you live just like the same time yesterday, right at that perfect noon spot for you, all you East Coast people that are on your lunch break. And then for your West Coast people who just tapped into work or just waking up for the day, the best spot to get all you need to know before locking in all of your plays today. As usual, the show is powered and sponsored by the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Be sure to heading over to that app before baseball season begins to make sure you get that best price available. As usual, we're live at Daily Bread Media on Twitter. Make sure to give us a like, retweet, and a follow there if you already aren't. We got that March Madness giveaway. It's going to end on Monday, so we'll be giving away $500. And then come Tuesday, we will be announcing our next giveaway at Daily Bread. If you want to be a guest or if you know anyone that should be a guest on the show, get into our DMs. That's one thing we're going to be doing more of as well, is getting more of our fans, commenters, other cappers. If you want to join for an episode of Daily Bread, hit up Daily Bread or me in the DMs. Lastly, if you're watching us on YouTube, like Finesse the Books, who is the number one commenter today, make sure to give us a like and make sure to follow Finesse the Books and hop into his spaces when he hosts them for your daily NBA plays as well. Yes, yesterday was a great day. 7-1 from the show. Rozier was the only L. A few of the leans got through, a few of the leans didn't, but the 8 official plays went 7-1. So I know your one lean was it was Levine that you forgot to give out a line and the number on, but nice little 5-1 day from yourself. 2-0 from me. So
I
we're
can't
just back
complain,
and
man.
hungry as
Nice
ever
start to the
because you
week.
start each day 0-0. But what's up?
Man, just trying to build on Monday, trying to repeat what we did yesterday. That's the goal. That's the plan. Yeah, Rozier, fuck that guy. Other than that, I'm happy with that. Let's get on to the another day. Obviously, we got some soccer plays, and we got some stuff for the people. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Outside of last night, Memphis obviously just dominates every single day. There, it doesn't really matter who they play or who's playing. They
You're
just
coming through a little low, so start yelling at me, Sosa.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can
no,
you hear
we
me?
could hear you the whole time. It was just a little low. You had to make sure because I'm probably screaming in the people's ears for them to turn it up to hear you.
Nah, like I said, Memphis just took care of business, handled what they had to handle, um, and I think it's clear that people aren't really giving them the respect they deserve right now. But it's going to come. It's going to come. This Memphis team is insanely good, and
Yes, sir. As
yeah,
you
just
alluded to, we got about 7 games to talk about today. 5 in the NBA, 2 in World Cup qualifying. No, we're not going to talk about Italy playing Turkey, but you should probably just fade Italy because I don't know what type of squad they're going to even put out traveling to Istanbul as well. So, with if you're betting the friendlies today, definitely be looking for lineups. It does. Some teams do have pot implications. No, not we that come out on Friday for the World Cup draw. Example, Serbia needs like 2 or 3 things to fall their way. So you could see extra teams in the international friendlies playing with a little bit extra motivation to potentially get a better draw for the World Cup. But that will be on Friday for all you sleeping under a rock.
yes, sir.
Now, I don't know what they're going to do about the Ukraine game because they're technically still in qualifying. So I think it's just going to be that spot's going to get drawn 2-1. But from last night, nothing really that big.
Yeah,
Jokic kind
not,
of had
not
a
anything,
crazy
not anything
night.
that really moved the
Murray
meter
had a
last
crazy
night.
night. That was about it.
Pascal Siakam is a fucking he's a beast. He's finally living up to what he got paid. So I think that's like the biggest. It's good. You good? My dog's over here breathing all hard, sitting in the sun.
All right. Well, let's get through the 2 World Cup qualifying plays. So I don't know if you got a spot lined up for us, but I got to play in a game, and it's not going to be the one the people want to be betting in because you got Poland versus Sweden, and that's what we're started off with. Poland hasn't beaten Sweden since 1974 or whatever. They dropped their last 6. If you remember last summer World Cup or in the Euros, Sweden won 3-2, which was a completely different outcome than most people expected. Here, Poland's going to the World Cup. It might come in extra time because you have the juiced under 2 -120, but I'm rocking the money line at +142 with Poland here. Lewandowski, when you're going to give me the best player at the plus money, that with a low total where you could only need one shot, one difference to put it through. In the Euro match, you can use that for some sort of similarity since most of the roster will be, I would say, 70% the same. Poland peppered them with shots. Sweden was just more clinical and converted, and Sweden gets to play in that defensive style, which is why you see the under 2 -120. I just want to pick Poland. You can take them to advance. That's juiced. I like the +142 on that play.
Let's go.
So let's go Lewandowski. Don't make me sad.
Footy Rex is back.
And then we got Portugal, North Macedonia. I really don't even want to talk about this game. If North Macedonia is going to beat Italy, beat Poland and make two countries sad.
Oh man, I know they did. They made Rex sad last week.
I mean, from a total perspective, I guess that would be the way I would have to go here. I think North Macedonia can make it tough. I mean, you saw what happened with Italy. They got 30-plus shots up on target, but they couldn't convert a single one. Will Portugal be more clinical? I mean, they have the better goal scorer up top. So that's kind of it. Neves did pick up an injury in the last game, so that's a little bit of a hurt to them, but they have enough players that can slide into that midfield without an issue. If you had to force me to make a play here, I guess I would go with like the over 2.75 or the over 3, but that's completely relying on Macedonia getting on the score sheet, and I know they're at plus money for their team total, which is a sneaky good look.
Yes, sir. Footy Rex.
Yep, so we're rocking with Poland, money line plus 142. Let's get it through. Sosa, NBA time, unless you want to talk about Ronaldo or anyone like that.
Nah, we'll get straight to it. Get out here quick. Lakers just listed AD and LeBron as doubtful. They're 12-point dogs tonight. I like the Mavericks to cover the 12.
And you know what happens if the Lakers lose tonight? 11 seed officially.
Yeah, they move to 11th. They'll be a half game out of the play-in. Andy to the Saints. Andy Dalton?
I'll check that up, but continue with your.
Oh yeah, like I said, I like the Lakers to lose again tonight, and I like them to lose by more than 12 points. No LeBron. Maybe Westbrook's able to go crazy, but I like Dallas to cover the 12. Dallas -12 is my first play of the game.
All right, Dallas -12 is how we'll start it off. Saints are signing former Bears QB Andy Dalton 1 year, up to $6 million, including 3 guaranteed. Is he the starter or is he the backup to Jameis?
He's the backup. Jameis
the money, it has to be the backup.
Jameis is without question the starter. It's not even a debate or a conversation. He is the number one option, and he will be very, very good for them. No question. No doubts in my mind whatsoever.
All right. Second game. Which one are we hitting up?
We're talking about Detroit and Brooklyn. We got Brooklyn here coming off an L where they fucked it off at the crib. They won one, lost one. In this one, my favorite play is Kyrie Irving's assist over 5.5. He hits the number coming off an L against Charlotte. He finished with 11. Also, with him playing all the games now, I think people's expectations, he set such a high bar to start the season that I think a lot of people were expecting him to maintain, averaging 33 points a game on the road and just going out there and emptying the tank every night. Now that he's playing all the games, he can't do that. It becomes more of a pacing yourself and readjusting to the grind. He's playing one game and then getting 6 days off. It's a little different now where you have to pace yourself to play all the games. I don't think people have taken that into consideration really. So I'm going with his assist simply because I think KD's going to bring it. Kyrie over 5.5 assists at -115. If you want to play it up one for the plus money, I can't get the alternates right now, but if you add one on, I think he gets you 7-8 assists against this Detroit team. A Detroit team that has played very well. They've been great against the spread since the All-Star break. So the 13.5, I have a problem laying it personally. Given it's going to depend on who's available for the Pistons. Obviously, everyone seems to be playing. So yeah, right now I would my favorite play would be Kyrie's assist.
I really like the over in this one here. If you made me pick a side, the three other games kind of tempt me a lot more to be laying my cash on. But if you had to force an angle on this one, I just think this one goes over because Detroit, they're on a streak of 3 straight unders when that's happened before. They're 4-2 to the over at that spot. And then when they're laying more than 12 points at home, they're 2-0 to the over here, so they kind of smash it there, even though they don't like the high totals at home. But that's before Kyrie was in the mix. So if you had to get me to put a play, it would be the over 234 here. Sunny day in Philly, Vancouver, across the globe. Yes, sir. Thank you for tapping into our man Mo. Always feeling that good energy, even though it's still cold as fuck here. We'll save the Sixers game for last. Let's talk Jazz Clippers because I know you're dying to talk about these two teams. You're still on mute.
I'm not particularly dying to talk about them, but I do know that I personally I do like for this game to be an offensive game. I think that 218 is a little low. Utah off some rest. I like them. I like the game to go over to the 218. That's the starting number. And it's really more of a dice roll because both these teams have been wildly inconsistent offensively. I just think that we're going to get a high scoring game based on pace that we might get, and then we're going to get a shit ton of 3-point shots from both teams.
Here is kind of where the Jazz, they started this road trip off hot with the dub in New York City at MSG, but then they've dropped 4 straight, last one in LA before they head back home. That's where I think it's the low and the low -1 here. I just think it's tough not to be back in the Jazz here, even though Mo saying he hates Jazz and all of Utah, particularly not one of my destination states either. But with this Clippers team, I don't want to say they're going in the wrong direction, but they definitely are. When Amir Coffey's your main guy getting you the buckets, and they're more looking forward to when PG can come back at this point, even though Utah, they don't look to be undermanned tonight. Mitchell's probable. Rudy's still questionable. I think Rudy does get into the lineup tonight, so that's where I would take the Jazz on the money line at -115. All right, so the next game we got to talk about because we always save the best for last. Let's talk Chicago at the Wizards.
It's hard for me to pick the Chicago Bulls coming off a back-to-back. And they just seem to be headed in the wrong direction right now. There's really no direction for this team. They've been terrible post All-Star break. They've been terrible against good teams. They're playing the Wizards, who stink, obviously, so it's easy to say it's a smash spot, but there is no smash spots right now with this Bulls team. They've been absolutely terrible. I got to say, this is just, it's a stay away from me, man.
If anything, what we like here?
Yeah, if anything, I would rock with maybe DeRozan's points or something like that. But this game could be a blowout. It could be a close one. It could be a game that they let Washington compete for 20 minutes or like for 40 minutes out the game. So I just can't commit to anything, especially on the back-to-back.
We're rocking the over 222.5 at minus 110 here, because when the Bulls are on their back-to-back games, they're 10-5 to the over. And then in Washington home games, when the total's over 220, it's 14-3 to the over here. So we're rocking the over 222.5 at minus 110.
That's
All right. The only game that matters tonight.
Sixers, Bucks.
Shit, go. I'm wearing red. It's a Sixers color. Close enough. I forgot about. I should have put on some gear. But Sosa opened around like 3, all the way down to 1. I think 3 was the appropriate number. So now that it's basically at a pick 'em, really makes me want to take the Sixers straight up on the money line. But fun fact, the Bucks have not lost on Tuesday night so far this season. They're 9-0. So I think that trend ends today, just like the Sweden trend over Poland. But just to give me an actual breakdown of the game.
I think the easiest bet tonight is the over. The easiest bet tonight is the over. Over 231.5, 100%. I'm rolling with that. I also really do love James Harden's points at over 22.5. Whether or not Giroux plays or not, he doesn't really affect him to that extent. Here goes Ruby. What's up? Go lay down, please. Thank you. So yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite play is James Harden over 22.5. And we're going with Matisse Thybulle tonight to go over 5.5 at the crib. With James Harden at the crib, he's hit his number all but one game. 5.5 points. Matisse he's either gonna get his 3 dunks, 1 3 and 2 dunks, but he's gonna get us over 5.5 at minus 122. And my final play of the night is something that we should have been revisiting. We're going to rock with Tobias Harris over 1.5 3-pointer made at minus 115. And we're going to go Tobias 3 threes at plus 310.
Ooh, there's the kicker.
That'll be the plays of the night for the Philadelphia game.
Yeah, the Sixers don't like playing on Tuesdays. They're 0-7 ATS, 2-5 straight up, which completely means nothing in the long scheme of things. In this game here, everyone's loving the over. I kind of like the under here because no home game so far this season with over 230 for the Sixers has surpassed that total, because you got the Sixers team total sitting at 117. As we were talking about, the books has finally adjusted. You could have caught them against the Suns back at that 111 number. That didn't end up coming through after they put up less than 50 points in the second half. But back at the crib after that West road trip, it could be a get-right spot after just a single L. I don't know, there's not much else I want to say in this one. In a pure pick-em and toss-up game, it's tough to trust Doc down the end to get the money line through. And I don't want to bet with the fandom, so I'll stick just with my 3 plays. But, I'd be rocking the minus 1.5 or the minus 120 money line. Anything else? You're on mute this whole time, man.
The Lakers aren't going to make the play-in. I hate to say it, but I don't think they're going to make the play-in. LeBron will get the scoring title, though.
No spring training plays?
No. None. Listen, any handicapper that's giving out plays for fucking spring training baseball, you're a dickhead. That's how I feel. Like, we're betting on guys that aren't even going to make the fucking roster. What are you doing?
Hey, Sosa, you want an NHL play tonight?
Absolutely. Free hockey money from Rex. Let's go.
You sure you want to do it?
Yes.
It's not a Fade the Flyers game. That's the only play I've given out on the stream. So I'm putting my perfect NHL record at stake tonight.
Let's go. What are we rocking with?
We're not. I was just fucking with all of you.
This guy.
That's probably going to wrap us up for today. If anything, fade the Penguins tonight. They just scored 11 goals in their last game. Can't stay up with that.
Also, check out my homegirl. Her name is One Lace Front on YouTube. She makes all of LeBron's hair pieces. Very, very skilled worker. Amazing. Check her out.
That's going to check that out. Send us a picture after you do. Let us know that you hooked up with it because we appreciate you supporting us. So we want to show love to everyone else. So support other local and small businesses. But anything else, tomorrow we'll be live. We out.
I completely made that up.